Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'll be showing you guys my 8th round of the Combe Karting Championship, which was quite unfortunate on my end, and I also learned that I need to be much more patient with my overtakes. So here it is, and I'm going out for my first heat of the day. Let's see how I do. At this point in time, I didn't actually know that I had the worst kart out of all of the ones that were here on this day, which was very frustrating, but made from some very close and fun driving and racing with Sam Skellett, as you will see later in the race. As you can see, I didn't expect Sam Skellett to have gone past the two drivers behind that fast, as he was starting in fourth, meaning that I left the door wide open coming to the top hairpin, but luckily he wasn't able to fully commit to it, meaning we just found a position and are now able to be aware of it and start defending. As we go into the straight, I take a look behind and see that because he bumped me coming out of the turn 1, he was a bit behind me, and we can take the normal line into the top hairpin and the next corner without having to worry about him going up our inside. This time around, however, we aren't as lucky, and we see that he's right behind us. We go to the middle of the track and go tight into the top hairpin, stopping it right on the apex. We get a bump from him on the exit, giving us more speed and making him lose momentum. Then we also go defensive into the next pit lane corner to just make sure he stays behind, and getting another bump on exit to get more speed and make him lose speed again. So now we have to continue with the lap and continue defending to try and keep position 1. Coming out of the chicane, yet again he's right on our bumper, meaning we keep going defensive into the top hairpin, but this time he tries to go around the outside to keep the momentum so he can try overtaking us on the exit, carrying more speed, but he doesn't work. He has less speed on exit than us, meaning he goes behind us again, and we go defensive into pit lane corner, making us keep the position coming onto the next lap of the race. Let's see if we can hold it for the last lap. As you can see now, we are in the pit lane ready to go out for our second heat of the day. So right now we are starting in 4th position, right behind our teammate Max Passmore, who was in 3rd. So we are aiming to just try and follow him through and try gaining as many positions as we can, maybe finish 1st or 2nd, but let's see if that's possible, especially since this was one of my more unfortunate races of the day. Whether it be my fault, someone else's fault, you decide. Right at the start, as you can see, I was a bit annoyed since my kart just didn't seem to want to go off the start line, meaning a horrible start compared to everyone ahead of me, and yeah, just didn't go off well. Luckily, the kart actually felt great for the rest of the race, so my kart was definitely not the problem in this heat. Unfortunately, even though the driver ahead in the red suit was able to keep position 3, coming up the chicane twice on the last 2 laps, he just spins out at the top hairpin, giving me a free position anyway, although it already cost me a ton of time, meaning that I'm not quite sure if I'm going to be able to chase down P2. Let's see if it's possible, since this kart is actually quite good. Skipping up to the final lap, I just I just barely started to reel him in. Although I was starting to get closer and closer, it was the final lap, and I was unfortunately not able to make any moves on him, even though I was a lot faster than the driver ahead. The battle, or annoying little squabble, with the previous driver, who was now in P4, cost me so much time that it was just not really possible for me to catch up and gain any more positions in this race. So that's a P3 finish, unfortunately. Let's see how I do in the next one. Alright then, we are now about to go for our third heat of the day, where we are starting in P3 behind Rocco Elias, our teammate. So let's see how we do in this one. I'm hoping to try doing good, but we'll see how it goes. As the lights go green, we get an alright start. We don't lose any positions, we don't gain any positions. That's fine. Rocco Elias gets ahead of Finley Plummer coming into the chicane, and then I catch up to Finley coming out the chicane and myself onto the straight. But because he's so light, he starts getting away from me, coming onto the top hairpin. But he goes wide. I try to get a cut back. He gets a better exit than me, and then I try to send up the inside of the pit lane corner, but unfortunately, I'm probably a bit too far back, and he tries to cut back and just spins out, so I get a penalty for that, unfortunately, although it was my fault, I think. So I deserve it. I'm not going to complain about it, and yeah, just got to get on with it. Finley, if you're watching this, I just want to say that I apologise about trying to send that move. I shouldn't have done it, and it just didn't work out. I was a bit too far back. My apologies. I am just going to skip the rest of this heat, since I'm not losing time to Rocco or gaining time to Rocco, and no one behind me is gaining time to me, so literally nothing happens for the rest of this race except for me just driving around. And since I got a penalty, even though I'm technically second on track, I finished fourth in that heat, meaning my current finishes right now are first, third, and fourth, unfortunately. Okay then, now it's time for my fourth and final heat of the day, where I will be starting in second place, and luckily I have one of the fastest karts on the day, I believe. And yeah, it was very fun to drive, except for the fact that the steering was quite stiff, which I didn't mind much, to be honest. It was just a bit different than some of the other karts I've driven on the day, so just a bit of a note there. But yeah, I was quite confident I could win this race, especially since I had the kart, and yeah, I was just confident here. I'm just hoping to get P1. Right off the start, I get quite a good launch off the line, but I'm getting even more lucky when coming to turn 1, Emrys slams into the driver who was originally in P1, making him lose a ton of speed, allowing me to come out on top in first place coming out the chicane and onto the main straight, which means now I'd have to continue to expand my lead throughout the rest of the heat, and I'll have a kind of comfortable P1 finish again. At this point in the race, I have already built a significant gap to the drivers behind me, so it only gets bigger the longer I drive, since I am just in a very fast car and I'm quite confident in this heat, meaning that my lines are quite good and I'm just driving well. Because nothing else really happens for the rest of the heat, I'm just going to skip to the final. Okay then, now it's time for the B final, where I will be starting 6th out of 8 people, and will be starting behind Chloe McNally and Max Passmore, who are both my teammates in this race, and we'll just be trying to work together to get a few positions, and yeah, we'll see how that goes though, as it was quite unfortunate what happened. But yeah, other than that, I had the fastest lap in this race out of anyone else, so I was quite confident, especially since I had the same car I had my first heat. So let's see how it goes. As the lights go green, we get a decent start going alongside with Chloe, but into turn 1, the driver from P7 actually sent up her inside. Good rate move from him, but push us on the outside coming to the chicane, and then exit the chicane also on the outside, so the driver from P8 is able to go past us as well, so we drop back to the last place. But then coming to the top hairpin, he goes wide, I get a switch back, and I overtake him at the pit lane corner again, making the move stick and not spinning him out. So now we just try and chase down everyone else, and let's see if we can get any more positions or make backs. Coming up to the top hairpin, I'm very close to the back of Max Passmore, so I thought I could overtake him. So I got up to the inside, but on the apex he turns in and I clip the back of his car, meaning he spins out and I get another 2-place penalty for it. So now all I can do really is try and chase down Chloe and Harley, I think, who are a bit ahead of me, and try to get back to some positions there. Yet again, I apologise, Max, if you're watching this, and yeah, I'll try to improve on my overtaking to not get any penalties in the future, and I apologise again. Coming out of the top hairpin, we see that Harley is attempting to send an overtake on Chloe up ahead near the pit lane corner, so this means we can get much closer to them, catch up quite a bit, and maybe capitalise on any other mistakes in the future. But coming into the last corner of the lap, I absolutely slam into Harley in the back, so apologies for that as well. I hope your neck is okay, but yeah, now we just have to try and capitalise, try and overtake one of them. Let's see if we can do that. Nearing the final lap here, and Harley is trying to find any possible opportunity to try and get past Chloe, and he gets just that coming out of the first corner of the lap, where he gets a way better exit than Chloe coming to chicane, and just overtakes her, pushes her wide, allowing me to get past as well, meaning that I don't finish in dead last due to my penalty, and Chloe doesn't lose her position to me because, well, I have a penalty, so she gets that position back. Although unfortunate that she lost out to Harley. But yeah, last lap here, and I finished in technically 5th, but with a penalty, finished 7th. So yeah, that's it. I sincerely thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. It will help me out quite a bit. If you want to get more updates on my karting as well, then check out my Instagram, which is just Oscar M Karting, and give me a follow there. I would really appreciate that too. Anyway, yeah, have a good day.